Sometimes in life, we hold on so tightly to what we want, believing that if we just push harder, force harder, chase harder, the answer will finally come. But the truth is, the universe does not respond to desperation. The universe responds to alignment. So many times in life, we find ourselves chasing after what we think we need, holding on so tightly that our hands begin to shake. We believe that if we try harder, if we push longer, if we keep forcing, then surely things will turn out in our favor. But this mindset comes from a place of desperation, and desperation is heavy. It creates resistance, it clouds clarity, and it pushes away the very things we are trying to bring closer. The truth is that the universe has its own rhythm, and this rhythm cannot be manipulated by force. It responds to balance, to alignment, to authenticity. When you are aligned within yourself, your thoughts, your emotions, your actions, you become a magnet for the life you desire. Desperation, on the other hand, is misalignment. It is fear disguised as effort. It is the belief that you are not enough as you are, and that you must chase what you already feel slipping away. But alignment is different. Alignment is trust. It is a calm knowing that you don't need to grip so tightly, because what is meant for you will naturally flow toward you. Think about the times when you felt most at peace, when you were not trying to control every detail, but simply allowed yourself to be present. In those moments, opportunities arrived, people showed up, and answers revealed themselves without strain. That is the power of alignment. It's not about inactivity or passivity, but about action taken from a place of inner clarity rather than panic. When you act from desperation, your energy carries fear, and that fear is felt by everyone and everything around you. People sense it, circumstances mirror it, and outcomes reflect it. But when you act from alignment, your energy carries confidence, peace, and certainty. The difference is subtle but powerful. Alignment means you no longer have to prove anything. You no longer feel the need to force what isn't flowing. You begin to release the urge to beg for recognition, to cling to situations that drain you, or to demand results before their time. Instead, you focus inward, building strength, building presence, and building trust in yourself and in the natural unfolding of life. When you live this way, desperation fades because you are no longer operating from lack. You are operating from abundance. You are saying to yourself and to the world, I am whole as I am, and I do not need to chase what is already mine. That statement, that energy is what shifts everything. It draws people, opportunities, and experiences back to you without effort, because they are responding to the frequency of alignment. Alignment is the opposite of desperation. It is rooted in patience, in clarity, and in a deep trust that timing is never wrong. When you stop clutching so tightly and instead align yourself with your highest values, you become unstoppable. What is yours will move toward you because it cannot resist the gravity of someone who is centered, calm, and whole. It is natural to look outside for answers. From childhood, we are conditioned to seek validation, to measure ourselves by the responses of others, and to believe that our worth depends on external approval. This conditioning makes us constantly search outward for reassurance, attention, and recognition. But the truth is that the answers we chase outside are already within us. When you turn inward, you find the source of your strength, the clarity of your vision, and the peace that cannot be disturbed by shifting circumstances. Looking outward only creates confusion. It makes you dependent on the moods, the choices, and the actions of others, leaving your sense of stability fragile. But when you turn inward, you discover a foundation that cannot be shaken because it belongs only to you. Inward focus is not selfishness, it is self-mastery. It is the discipline of listening to your own thoughts, questioning your own patterns, and learning to direct your energy with intention. So many people spend their entire lives chasing after approval, waiting for someone else to confirm their value, hoping that external recognition will fill the void inside. Yet, No amount of external confirmation can fix the emptiness created by neglecting yourself. The void remains until you choose to face yourself, until you choose to become your own source of light. Turning inward means giving attention to your inner world before seeking control over the outer world. It means creating time for reflection, for silence, for practices that strengthen your awareness. Whether it is meditation, journaling, or simply sitting in solitude, the act of turning inward is about reconnecting with the essence of who you are. It is in that connection that you realize you are already enough. Outward chasing says, I need something outside of me to feel complete. Inward focus says, I am already whole, and what is outside will reflect that wholeness. When you stop searching outward for validation, you stop being at the mercy of others. Their opinions, their approval, their acceptance lose power over you because you no longer need them to define you. Your energy is reclaimed. You become centered, calm, and unshakable. And paradoxically, it is when you no longer demand recognition from the outside that the outside world begins to recognize you. Opportunities flow toward people who stand strong in themselves, because strength attracts respect and clarity attracts trust. Turning inward also means tending to your inner wounds, the unhealed parts of you that push you toward outward chasing. Many people search for love, attention, or approval outside because of inner gaps that have never been acknowledged. But when you finally sit with yourself, when you finally listen to the parts of you that ache, you begin to heal. That healing builds self-respect. It builds a kind of quiet power that no one can take away from you. The truth is, the outward world is only a reflection of the inward world. If you are restless inside, the outer circumstances will appear chaotic. If you are calm inside, the outer circumstances cannot disturb you. By shifting your attention inward, you gain the ability to shape your outer reality without force. You stop needing to control every detail and instead allow your inner balance to guide the flow of events. That is where true power lies, not in chasing outcomes, but in mastering yourself. There is a quiet kind of strength that does not need to announce itself, a strength that does not require constant validation or the attention of others to prove its worth. To rise in silence is to embrace that strength. It is the decision to focus on growth without broadcasting every step, to build yourself without needing the applause of an audience. In a world where everyone is shouting, competing for recognition, and desperate to be seen, silence becomes your power. Silence allows you to redirect energy away from proving and into becoming. It gives you the space to transform without interference, to sharpen your skills, to strengthen your spirit, and to align yourself fully with who you are becoming. When you rise in silence, you remove distractions. You no longer waste energy explaining yourself, defending yourself, or justifying your path. You stop seeking approval for every decision and instead trust yourself enough to move forward quietly. This silence is not weakness, nor is it isolation. It is clarity. It is the discipline to keep your vision sacred, to protect it from noise, doubt, and unnecessary influence. Many dreams are destroyed not because they are impossible, but because they are exposed too early to the wrong eyes and ears. When you rise in silence, you give your dreams the safe space they need to grow. Silence also teaches patience. It teaches you that growth does not have to be rushed or announced. The most powerful transformations are the ones that happen gradually, away from the spotlight. Just as roots grow unseen before the tree rises above the earth, your inner work must deepen before the results become visible to others. And when they finally do become visible, they speak louder than words ever could. The quiet work you do in private becomes undeniable strength in public. There is also freedom in silence. When you are no longer obsessed with proving your progress, you release yourself from the weight of expectation. You no longer fear judgment because no one knows what you are building. You no longer feel pressured to perform because your growth is for you, not for the approval of others. This freedom allows you to experiment, to fail, to adjust, and to try again without the eyes of the world watching. That kind of freedom creates authenticity. It allows you to rise on your own terms, at your own pace, without compromise. To rise in silence is also to master your emotions. It means choosing not to react to every challenge, every doubt, or every criticism thrown your way. It is the wisdom of knowing that you do not need to answer everything, that silence itself can be the strongest response. This mastery protects your energy. Instead of scattering it through arguments and explanations, you conserve it for your growth, your vision, and your purpose. The energy saved becomes the fuel that carries you higher. And when the time comes, your silence breaks not with words, but with undeniable results. People will notice the change in you, the strength in you, the clarity in you, and they will wonder how it happened. But you will know it was the hours of discipline, the quiet battles, the unseen sacrifices, and the commitment to rise without needing applause. That is why rising in silence is so powerful. It allows your growth to speak for itself. Every human being carries an energy that speaks before words, an invisible force that others feel even without realizing it. This energy is not random. It is shaped by your thoughts, your emotions, your habits, and the way you choose to carry yourself through life. Over time, this energy develops into a kind of personal gravity, a pull that either attracts or repels. Just as planets hold moons in orbit through their gravitational force, the energy you embody holds experiences, opportunities, and people within your sphere. The stronger and clearer your energy becomes, the stronger its pull grows, and the more life responds to you in ways that match your inner state. Think about moments when you have met someone who radiated calm confidence. Without them saying much, you felt drawn to their presence, wanting to understand them, to learn from them, to be near them. That was their gravity at work. On the other hand, you may have encountered people who carried tension, fear, or insecurity in their energy. Even if they spoke kindly, something about their presence pushed you away. This is the law of energy in action, and it is a law that never fails. Your inner state is constantly shaping the field around you, and that field is constantly calling experiences into your life that match its vibration. When you begin to take responsibility for your energy, you start to realize that you are not powerless. You are not merely a victim of circumstances or at the mercy of chance. You are continuously shaping your reality through the frequency you carry. If your energy is rooted in desperation, fear, or self-doubt, you will attract experiences that confirm those states. But if your energy is rooted in calmness, clarity, and strength, then life cannot help but reflect those back to you. Gravity does not choose. It simply pulls according to its strength. The question is, what kind of energy are you strengthening within yourself? To create powerful gravity, you must first align your inner world. This means mastering your thoughts so they are not ruled by fear, choosing emotions that uplift instead of weaken, and acting in ways that reflect self-respect. Every time you choose discipline over laziness, peace over chaos, confidence over insecurity, you increase the strength of your energy. Over time, this builds a presence that cannot be ignored. People notice it without you asking, opportunities find you without you chasing, and what belongs to you returns because it cannot resist the pull. It is important to understand that energy is subtle, but undeniable. You cannot fake it, because true energy is not in what you say, but in what you are. If you are pretending confidence while carrying fear inside, the world will feel the fear more than the performance. This is why inner work is essential. The deeper you go within yourself to heal, to grow, and to align, the more authentic your energy becomes. Authentic energy has the strongest gravity because it is not built on masks or performance. It is real, and reality has weight. When you strengthen your energy, you stop needing to chase. Chasing is the behavior of someone whose energy is weak, someone who believes they must run, after what they want. But gravity does not run, gravity pulls. When your energy is strong, what is aligned with you moves toward you naturally. It may take time, it may test your patience, but the law is unbreakable, like a track's like, and strong energy draws everything in its orbit. This is why the work of building your inner world is never wasted. Every moment spent in growth, in healing, in discipline, in clarity, is a moment spent strengthening the invisible force that brings life back to you. The deepest form of suffering often comes from the illusion of control, the belief that if we just try harder, push stronger, or force longer, we can make things unfold exactly as we want them to. This mindset comes from fear, fear of losing what we think we need, fear of uncertainty, fear of outcomes that do not match our desires. Yet, the more we try to control, the more we push life away from its natural flow. Control is heavy, it tightens the mind, hardens the body, and drains the spirit. When you are constantly trying to direct every detail of life, you leave no space for things to unfold in their natural rhythm. True strength comes not from forcing, but from releasing, not from gripping, but from trusting. To release the need to control does not mean to give up or to stop taking responsibility. It means to understand the difference between what is within your influence and what is beyond it. Your choices, your actions, your discipline, these belong to you. The timing of events, the decisions of others, the unfolding of outcomes, these do not. When you confuse the two, you set yourself up for endless frustration, trying to command what was never in your power. But when you learn to release, to let go of what cannot be forced, you create space for peace. You conserve your energy for what truly matters: your growth, your clarity, and your alignment. Control is often rooted in fear of losing something. The mind convinces itself that if it can tighten its grip, the outcome will stay secure. But life has a way of slipping through clenched hands. The more you grasp, the faster things fall away. It is only with open hands, with trust, that life can deliver what is truly yours. What belongs to you cannot be taken, and what does not belong to you cannot be held, no matter how tightly you cling. This realization brings freedom. It frees you from the constant need to chase, to argue, to prove, or to manipulate. It allows you to stand calmly in the knowledge that life is always arranging itself for your highest good, even when you cannot yet see the full picture. When you release the need to control, you also release the need to beg or to demand. You no longer try to force people into roles they do not wish to play, or outcomes into timelines they are not ready to meet. Instead, you trust that everything unfolds with purpose. This trust does not weaken you, it strengthens you. It gives you patience where there was once anxiety, peace where there was once fear, and clarity where there was once confusion. The ability to let go is a sign of deep inner power, because it shows that you do not rely on external circumstances to feel safe. Your safety comes from within, from knowing you can handle whatever life brings. Releasing control also opens the door to flow. Flow is the state where life moves effortlessly, where opportunities appear without struggle, and where outcomes align without force. You cannot step into flow while clinging tightly to control, because flow requires trust. Trust that the path ahead is guiding you even if you cannot see every step. Trust that delays are not rejections, but redirections. Trust that sometimes not getting what you want is protection. This trust transforms the way you move through life. Instead of constantly fighting the current, you learn to move with it, using your energy wisely and gracefully. To live without the constant need to control is to finally breathe deeply. It is to release the weight of anxiety, the endless pressure to predict, to plan, to demand, and to force. It is to understand that your task is not to command life, but to align with it, to prepare yourself inwardly, so that when the right opportunities appear, you are ready to meet them. In this state of release, you become unshakable, because your peace is no longer tied to the changing circumstances around you. There is a universal truth that cannot be denied: you do not attract what you want, you attract what you are. Wanting something does not guarantee its arrival, but becoming aligned with the vibration of that desire creates an undeniable pull. To elevate, to attract, means to raise yourself, to grow into the version of you who naturally receives what you seek. It is not about waiting for circumstances to change. It is about becoming the kind of person for whom those circumstances become normal. If you desire peace, you must elevate your mind out of chaos. If you desire respect, you must elevate your standards so that you embody respect first. If you desire love, you must elevate your self-worth so that love recognizes you as its equal. Attraction is never about demanding, it is about reflecting. The world mirrors who you are far more than it responds to what you say. Elevation requires discipline, and discipline requires awareness. You cannot rise without first seeing what holds you down. The habits that drain you, the thoughts that weaken you, the environments that poison you. These must be faced and released. To elevate is to make conscious choices every day that align you with your highest self. It is choosing stillness when the world offers distraction, choosing patience when the mind craves instant gratification, choosing truth when lies feel easier. With every choice made from this higher place, your energy rises, and with it rises the quality of what you attract. It is easy to fall into the trap of chasing. Chasing comes from the belief that what you desire exists outside of you, and that you must run after it. But chasing drains energy, and it signals lack. Elevation, on the other hand, comes from the belief that what you desire already belongs to you, and your task is simply to grow into the version of yourself who can hold it. When you elevate, you no longer need to chase, because what is aligned with you begins to move in your direction. The gravity of your energy becomes irresistible. This shift from chasing to attracting is one of the greatest transformations a person can make. Elevation is not about perfection, it is about progress. It is about moving higher even when the steps feel small, about refusing to settle for the version of yourself that is defined by fear, doubt, or weakness. Each small step upward is a signal to the universe that you are ready for more. And the universe always responds to readiness. Opportunities that once seemed out of reach begin to appear. Connections that once felt impossible begin to form. Experiences that once seemed reserved for others begin to flow into your life naturally, without the strain of forcing. The process of elevating yourself also sharpens your vision. From a higher place, you begin to see clearly what is truly aligned with you and what is not. You stop mistaking distractions for opportunities. You stop confusing noise for guidance. You stop lowering your standards to fit into spaces that were never meant for you. This clarity protects you, saving you from cycles of disappointment and teaching you the value of patience. You begin to understand that true attraction is not about getting everything you want, but about receiving only what is meant for the higher version of yourself. To elevate is to embody the qualities you wish to attract before they arrive. It is to carry yourself as though the life you desire is already here, because in many ways, it is. Energy does not wait for proof, it responds to belief. When you believe in your worth, when you live as though you are already abundant, when you move as though respect is natural to you, then the external world has no choice but to align with the internal truth you hold. This is the power of elevation. It turns longing into magnetism, desire into inevitability, and dreams into lived reality.